that they do. The way we work at NCL with StepUp is we work in your children's nursery. And I know a lot of you have volunteered already. Some of you have wanted to volunteer, and sometimes it's a tough time slot, but they love having us anytime we can come. So they wanted to speak specifically about how that program works and what they need from us. So I want to take a minute to introduce. First, we have in the back on the camera, Linda Nunnally, who's the Executive Director of StepUp Ministry. And then we here have Kalisha Stanford. She is the Director of Children and Young Adult Program. And then Lucretia Simmons, who is the Children's Program Coordinator. So I'm going to turn it over to them. They have some things they'd like to tell us, and let's have a good time. Listen to them. Thank you.
And super excited to see some faces that we've seen before volunteering at StepUp. That was fantastic, so we're excited about that. Again, Jen, thank you so much for the partnership and for the communication. You've been so easy and great to work with. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. So just want to talk a little bit about what StepUp is. How many people have heard of StepUp? Wow. Oh, wow. Wow, that is wonderful. That is fantastic. So we've been around for 25 plus years, and we're in the business of supporting families and individuals in reaching their highest goals. So we accomplish this through our one complete process that's broken down into several steps. The first step is coming through our week-long employment program. And during this week, we partner with individuals ages 18 and up to help them learn skills they need to interview, find employment, and to keep stable employment. So once you pass this week, you'll be paired with an employment counselor who works alongside you to help you find a job toward the career path of your choice. The next step of our process is our one-year-long life skills program, and that's followed by step 3, which is our alumni program. And this program is designed to support families after they graduate the one-year program. We're so thankful to be able to work with individuals and their families for an entire year, as that's how we're able to build long, deep, lasting relationships with them. During this program, families come to our evening program to learn about budgeting, self-esteem, goal setting, and many other skills. So while the parents are in class, the children are also in class. These guys are in class learning some of the same skills as their parents. So this is where awesome volunteers like you come into play. We depend on trained and dedicated volunteers to come to work with our children. We are very particular about our volunteers who we choose to engage with our children, as some of our children have been through traumatic events. So we really need volunteers who are willing to take the time to build relationships with our children, as they can really use some wonderful people to invest into their lives. So the main mission of StepUp, again, our tagline, adults and children, transforming their lives through employment and life skills training. The vision is to be the premier, the #1, the top resource in Wake County for people seeking to improve their lives and develop stable careers. Values, we believe lives are transformed through God's love and grace. We're guided by the needs of our participants. Participants are always first in everything we do at StepUp. We are careful stewards of all relationships and resources in our care. We seek and value diversity, inclusiveness, equality, accountability, and collaboration. We joyfully, happily celebrate all the efforts and successes of all of our participants. The StepUp Children's Program is guided by our core 4 principles. Everything we do is about our core 4 principles. The first one is resiliency, self-advocacy, behavioral modification, and parent and child communication. Programming for our youngest children is called Baby and Little Steps, where some of you guys have volunteered before. It's crafted to help children prepare for kindergarten. That's my favorite. All the activities and lessons that we teach are implemented with a purpose, because many of the younger children in this program that we serve have never been exposed to preschool settings. So on Tuesday and Wednesday night, maybe the only opportunity they have to have access to kindergarten readiness skills. So again, we take programming very seriously for our families, and we're depending on support to help our children. And our parents are depending on us to serve them. So Lucretia's going to explain a little bit about the program, the process, and what you can expect to see when you are volunteering with us on Tuesday or Wednesday.
So, she did a great job with that. Like she said, so like she was saying, core for the baby and little steps is kindergarten readiness. So I'm just going to go over a few expectations when you come volunteer with us. We want to make sure that we provide a safe and nurturing and loving environment there in baby and little steps. For example, always give the children your undivided attention. We want to make sure that they're safe at all times. We have lesson plans every week, so I may ask if, the younger girls, if they want to lead a lesson or teach a lesson or do a craft. We also, I'm sorry, I lost my place. So we want to make sure that we're following the lesson plans that's provided by myself. We ask that you stay in the classroom that you're volunteering in. So we have 2 different classrooms. When we go on a tour, we'll show you which one. We have a baby steps and a little steps for the younger ones and then for the older ones. So if you're volunteering that night, we want to ask that you stay in that room that you're volunteering in. Like Felicia stated earlier, the goal is to prepare and give the children tools that they need for kindergarten. Example, working on shapes, colors, letters, self-control, learning that it is important to use our manners and follow directions. So that is very important for little ones to learn at a very young age, which we might not think so, but it is for them to prepare for kindergarten. We ask that you stay off phones during program. So during this time, we can fully engage with the children. And so we will have a basket in the classroom for the young girls to put your phone in. Just so, I know it's hard, being a teenager, being on your phone, because it's hard for me sometimes. So we just want to make sure that you're, soaking this time in to play with the kids and help them. Another thing, this is for the parents, the moms, willing to change diapers in the nursery. If you come volunteer with us, we expect for you to change diapers while you're here. So, and wipe the nose and all that kind of good stuff. While playing with the children, make sure that they are learning through play. Example, social skills, manners, sharing, how to be kind, and etc. And at the end of the night, we ask that you clean up the classroom properly before leaving. And we'll show you on the tour that they have a guideline how they want the classroom, because they have half-day school here during the day. So we want to make sure that we're being respectful and putting things back neatly as possible so they can start their day off with a clean classroom. So when it's time for pickup, we want to ask that you make sure that the children are ready to go and they have their things and belongings ready to leave with their parents. Some kids have older siblings and they will try to come pick them up, but we want to make sure that they're going with their parents. And my only request is just remember that we're here to serve the kids. So that's all I have. Oh, yes. Okay, so nightly schedule. From 5:45 to, sometimes the schedule can be tweaked a little bit, but this is how we try to stick to it. So a typical night at StepUp is drop off is 5:45 to 6. Dinner, we try to eat and engage with the kids while we're talking to them, telling them things that, try your broccoli or whatever. And that time is 6 to 6:30. 6:30 to 7 is free play, inside or out. 7 to 7:15 is dessert. We try to push that a little bit later, because depending on what we're having, if we're having like some pudding or chocolate or something, they get a little crazy. But yeah, 7:15 to 7:45 is circle time or themed activities or whatever lesson we have for the night. 7:45 to 8:05 is games, gym, if the gym is open. And 8, we try to calm things down, getting them ready for pickup, and that's story time and puzzles or Play-Doh, whatever something just to get them settled. So, that's all I have.
All right, my turn again. All right, I like taking turns, that's awesome. So we also want to just make sure that the mothers and daughters understand that we need you to come together. Some of the girls are younger, a little inexperienced, but having the mothers who have done this, obviously, because beautiful girls are here, it's better to have you guys come and volunteer together. So please keep that in mind as well. And again, the main point of being here at StepUp, engaging with the kids, is to make sure they're learning and safe and having a good time as well. So when our younger volunteers are here, we want you guys to be careful about what we say in front of the kids. We know we don't talk about politics or cute boys or parties and things like that. Kids are smart, they pick up on things, so we just want to be careful and making sure that we're focusing on the lesson that Miss Lucretia has or whatever activity is happening for the night. And we also want you guys to be mindful of dress code. So we go by the same policy, Wayne County Schools, make sure that we're comfortable and we can get on the ground and play with the kids, but whatever you can wear to school, and that's appropriate, you can wear it to volunteer with the kids, if that makes sense. If you have any questions, you can always see one of us too. So during the program night, we only permit the mothers to pick up the smaller babies. So due to some inexperience, we've had some of the younger girls just not quite know how to hold the babies and a little one. So if you want to play with the kid, we welcome you to get on the floor with them or play at a table or draw. We welcome all kinds of interaction that way, but for the mothers, have free reign. You guys have done this.
Right.
We welcome that for sure. And then a service slip. Jen and Rebecca will more than likely create a service slip for us that needs to be signed by staff at the end of the night so that we can communicate back to Jen and back to you guys about the night, how it went, fantastic job, we weren't on our phones, we were paying attention, that kind of thing. And so that helps keep accountability for us and for you guys. We also require all volunteers, staff members, anyone to make sure we come to show up to the program on time. Drop off is super, super important for us. It's very important. The parents who come to the program, they're rushing from work, they're hungry, their kids are hungry, and we have to make sure we have proper supervision lined up, ready to go, so that they can be ready to go to their class and they can learn as well for the night. So we just want to make sure that we're always on time. Lucretia, let's share that quick story about a really awesome mom and daughter team that did something special for us.
It did. We had a child that had an accident in the baby little steps. And mom did not want to miss class that night because they were talking about, I think, budgeting or something. But she did not want to miss, and she didn't have any extra clothes. So mom went to Old Navy, left here, and went to Old Navy and purchased underwear, extra pants. And I thought that was just the sweetest thing. And came back and finished her night volunteering with us. So I thought that was just, she did not have to do that. So that
and
was
you're
awesome.
Here, so you know who you are.
So that was really awesome. We really appreciate that. That's just, it touched my heart, so I just want to share.
We love that story.
Right.
And then we want to talk about Triple P for a second. Has anyone heard of Triple P? One person. One person. Okay. You've heard of it. Triple P is a positive parenting program, and it is fantastic. And so it's evidence-based. People around the entire world use it. And what it does is it helps parents learn how to help their children modify their behavior, and helps parents learn how to work with their children and helping them to understand what's expected and how to communicate with them. So we use a lot of Triple P with our families and our kids while we're here at StepUp. So what I'd like to do, I would love someone to be brave. Who would like to come up and do a quick role play? Who's brave? We can have them. I prefer a daughter. I would love a daughter. Oh, yes. You're a volunteer. Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on. Volunteer. Come on. Hey, clap, guys. This is Grace Ellen, everybody. Okay, it's Grace Ellen. I'm a toddler, and this is my first time coming to StepUp. I've never been to StepUp. I've never been to kindergarten. I don't like a lot of kids. I'm scared, and you are volunteering for the night, right? So, oh yeah. And so I'm freaking out. I'm having a meltdown. I don't want to be here. I'm scared. What could you say to me to help me calm down? I'm freaking out. I'm scared. Oh my goodness. There's a volunteer that's next to me. Help me. Oh.
Tell you that it's okay.
That's okay. That it's okay, right? It is okay. What else could you tell me? And I'm just losing it. I'm crying. I'm scared. What else could you do?
That everyone here is nice.
Everyone here is nice. That's something you can say. So again, she's keeping her composure. She's understanding they're small. And again, because of this training, you're understanding that some kids are coming and they have not had the engagement or experience yet. So she's already ahead of the game saying, okay, it's safe, it's a safe place to be, it's okay, it's okay. Miss Lucretia, I'm freaking out. I'm not having a good night. Oh my goodness, help me, help me. I don't want to talk to you. What are you gonna tell me?
It's okay, like you said, it's okay, and try to take their mind off of that their mommy's going to class, leaving, and like, look at this new toy over here we have. So just trying to direct them to something else. So you're right, like it's okay.
All right,
You're
hands up,
safe with
everybody.
me.
Let's do one more. One more volunteer. One more volunteer. A young person. Oh, I see them pointing at each other. We should have both of you guys come. Oh, they're both coming. Yay. Let's hand clap them up together. And what is your name?
May.
May. I love the name. May. What is your name?
Kate.
Kate and May. Very cute. Okay, Kate and May. You guys are, no, May and Kate. Okay. May and I are playing, and I'm going to hit May. Yeah, I'm 3 years old. I'm hitting May. Kate, what are you going to say when I do that to my friend? I'm hitting her.
Don't do that, don't do that.
I'm going to hit her. She's being mean to me.
Talk to me and I'll help you figure out.
Okay. So she's trying to distract the child, asking her to talk to me, focus. That's something. What else did you do?
Use your words.
Use your words. Wow. Teamwork, right? Use your words, right? So again, already ahead of the game in the mindset that younger kids, they don't know. They need us to help them understand. Parents in the room, you guys get this. You have plenty of tactics, I'm sure. For our younger girls, we want to make sure that you're paying attention to how it helps support them. Hand clap, please. All right, so just a couple of questions. Let's see if we've been paying attention or if we kind of know what we should do. Let's see. When you see a child trying to leave the room and you are volunteering, what should you do? Parents, anyone, what should you do? Child's trying to leave the room, what can we do? Stop them, right? Believe it or not, we've had volunteers in the past, they're like, oh my goodness, he's scared. It's like, well, we want you to go get him too. Like, we're a group, we're a team, so we can't always be everywhere doing everything. So if you're in the room, please make sure the kids are safe. Let's see, when you enter the classroom, what should you do? What should one of the first things you do be?
Wash your hands. Great.
They're on it. We didn't have to say it. They're on it. So just keep that in your mind. Again, one of our policies is please wash your hands when you're coming in. We're going to be fixing plates and things like that, so we just want to make sure it's clean too. If we hear, this is my girls to answer this question. If we hear a cell phone ringing in the basket, the cell phone basket is ringing. It could be my friend. And what do we do if we hear it ringing in the middle of volunteering at StepUp?
Ignore it.
Ignore it! Very good, right? You're only here for a couple of hours. Go and grab it right after you finish volunteering. Thank you. Let's say you are helping to supervise a child eating dinner, and you see the cutie is putting so much food in his mouth. He's so excited, he wants to go play with the toys, and he's packing it in. What would you do as a volunteer? Slow down. The toys will still be there. It's okay. Like, monitor that, right? We had a volunteer, and she was watching him eat, and he was so hungry. She was like, but he's hungry. I said, we know that, but you have to, he doesn't understand how much he's putting into his mouth. So we just want to make sure we're paying attention to things like that. Again, moms, you guys already know that too. Let's see. And again, what if a child has a runny nose? Do we just let his nose run? No, we make sure that we're grabbing something to help him too. And then we want to be able to ask you guys a few questions, if you don't mind. What does it mean to be a volunteer of NCL? What does that mean? Can anyone answer that? Like how, we want to learn a little bit more. Anyone? Anyone who's with NCL? What does it mean to you? All right.
It means that we're
we're able to find out about wonderful organizations like StepUp and get to interface with them one-on-one all over town.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
That's what I like about it.
Well, we appreciate it. That's good. I like that. That's good. So what about a great experience? Does anybody have like a good memory or good volunteer experience with NCL they want to share with us?
I would say one thing about NCL that fits with StepUp. We're a mother-daughter organization, and as mothers, we've been really blessed to be close to our girls, and our girls being to be close to these moms and daughters. And it's not just moms and daughters, but to me, it's a natural fit.
Right.
We're moms and daughters, and they're moms and daughters, and we're all families trying to grow, make a positive impact here in Raleigh. I mean, I think
Wow, that's really cool.
Anyway.
Awesome, thank you.
Great way to look at it.
That's pretty good.
And I can say, my daughter and I've done a ton of volunteering for StepUp.
And we love
We
you.
love you.
Like, my daughter with the kids and how the relationships they get bond. I guess the bond that she has with those children, we haven't been able to do it in a couple of weeks, and she is just dying to get back
Oh, wow.
to those little boys. I mean,
Right.
it's got
Yes.
one little boy that she just.
She's gonna be shocked to see how much she's grown.
So I would say just the relationships and how the kids are just, and when they leave, it just breaks your heart.
Oh.
But when they graduate, you're happy for them, but you're sad that you're not
Right.
able to see them yet.
That's right.
But it's great. We love it.
Oh, my goodness, thank you so much, we appreciate it, we do. And we just want to, lastly, I guess, take this time to say that we have, especially our National Cheerleading moms have been some of the best volunteers we have ever had working with our kids at StepUp. We're so thankful for the partnership. We definitely want to work together and allow some of the younger girls the opportunity to get some more experience, so they can be fantastic volunteers as well. And if you come volunteer with us, we want you to have fun. There's something every single week. These kids are doing something fun, and we want you guys to be a part of that. So, with that said, any questions from you guys? Here we go.
I have a question.
Hi.
What's the ratio of volunteers to children? Because I've never volunteered, and I'm just kind of curious. Like, is it overwhelming? Are you paired with a child, or like would a volunteer have several kids that they're responsible for, or the whole room? How does that work?
Yeah, so it really just depends on the night. Our ultimate goal is one-to-one, always. Sometimes the volunteers have things to do, sometimes we have a lot more kids, sometimes it may be 3 or 4 volunteers with like 10 kids, it really just depends. But no, we're always trying to work to one-to-one.
Or 10 kids with, I mean, yeah.
No, no, 10 kids with
2 volunteers.
2 volunteers,
Vice versa.
yeah, it really just
Yeah.
depends for the night.
Yeah.
And I guess I could tell this on our calendar, but maybe not, because I know you have also volunteers from the churches. Is there usually more need on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, or?
It depends. Because at one time we were having more volunteers on Wednesday, and now it's like we don't have as many volunteers on Tuesday night. So it all depends on the night and who's coming and.
Well, and I can speak to that too. I think you all said that the programs rotate quarterly. So you kind of know how many kids are coming on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights each quarter. Is that correct? So the calendar will be modified. So we might have 15 kids. I might be exaggerating, I don't know. 15 kids, and so they will ask us for 6 volunteers. So there'll be 6 spots on the calendar, and that would be here at White Memorial. The Wednesday night programming is downtown at Christ Church, and that program might have a smaller number of children in the program, so the need for volunteers will be less, so there might be 4 available slots. So I will, Rebecca and I will make sure to keep the calendar up to date quarterly so that we have the proper amount of volunteers. I know they all also don't want, 6 of us standing around when there's 2 children there. So they are also working on that, for our benefit as well.
For them.
So just to clarify, so there's nursery, is that the baby steps, or it's nursery, baby steps, little steps?
Well, we call it the nursery, but within the nursery, we have like baby steps and then little steps. So baby steps is like 0 to 2, and then little steps 3 to 5 or 4.
And then there's an older children's program, but we don't volunteer
Correct,
with
yeah, that's a
those,
separate
it's just the
program.
2 younger ones, okay. And a few years ago, I think it's been 3 maybe, the class of 2020, so they're now in 10th grade, did plan, I think worked with you all to plan like a special activity
Oh, yeah.
with Thanksgiving time, and so the girls planned it and then came and did it. So is that something, I mean, obviously with planning, that you would still welcome, or is the curriculum kind of changed and that's not, wouldn't really fit anymore? I mean, I'm just curious for class, because within NCL, each grade level works together on their projects and whatnot, in addition to mother-daughter pairs, so it's sort of two separate ways that volunteering happens within NCL. So I was just wondering about that, if the class of a particular grade level wanted to plan a special activity. Are you all open to that still?
I'm open, I mean, I'm open to that, like, Tuesday we're having Harvest Fest, so we're all doing it all together, so if they want to come and do like a special craft with the younger kids, I would be totally open to that, like in the future, like if we planned it.
Yeah, I
we'll be
think
fine with that.
yeah.
There's grade level advisors, adults that work with each of the classes, so maybe they could connect.
Oh, actually, that would really be super helpful, only because the little ones, it's just, gosh, there's so many moving parts for them to have a group plan, like an activity for them. Again, we have done it in the past, and I was there during the time, so awesome. But yeah, we're definitely open to that, for sure. Yep, as it takes coordination and conversation.
How do these women, just kind of about StepUp, how were they referred to you all? Like, you know, how are the women able to benefit from this wonderful program?
Yes.
Like, where have they been prior?
Yeah. So we serve individuals, men, women, families. So we serve the whole entire community. So a lot of word of mouth, believe it or not. You might have a friend who says, hey, I went through StepUp, it really helped me. You should come and get a job. You should come to Life Skills. You can bring your kids. A lot of word of mouth. We partner with different shelters, other nonprofits, other agencies refer back and forth depending on what the need is. So we really have our hands in a lot of different places for referrals, for sure. All right, any more questions?
I just have one more, sorry. There are some sheets on the table. When you go on the calendar to sign up, they ask you to fill out these forms that are then submitted so they know a little bit of background information about all of their volunteers. If you want to take the time tonight and fill one out and leave it on the table, the next time you sign up on the calendar to volunteer, you don't have to worry about filling out this sheet. So you will be on file, and it's just one less step. You know, if you look on a Monday afternoon and see you can volunteer on a Tuesday, you've already got your form done, you're ready to go. So if you have a minute, I'm sorry I didn't put a whole lot of pens on the tables, but if you want to take the time to fill those out, that'd be great. If you've already filled one out since the start of this school year, then you do not have to fill one out. But if you have not volunteered and intend to, please go ahead if you have a minute to fill that out.
I also put some more papers. I think that the papers back there are a little bit different than what Jen is talking about. That's more about the program, baby steps, just giving you more information, going over policies and stuff like that. So you can also take those and just sign them when you come volunteer, if you decide to volunteer.
And we are also lucky to have Miss Tammy Petrus, who's back here. She is a part of the National Charity League, and she's on staff at StepUp, so she has the best of both worlds, you guys. And she's right back here, so thank you, Tammy.
I just wanted to make sure you guys also know that there's an event coming up, and I would like for you to mention this, because I think it's very special for the participants and everybody, and it's the gala. But we have a big gala plan for December the 19th, and I'm going to be working with Jen, and we are going to have a lot of open spots that we're going to be distributing out to various groups. But NCL will have a chunk of open positions as well, and we're actually going to be serving dinner in the gym. We've got like 250 people, so that's a lot, and we'll need a lot of help for that. The class of 2020 is going to be helping me with some decorations and stuff that's coming up. So there are a lot of opportunities for other things, like Ann was mentioning just a minute ago, where I'm sure that Lucretia would love some activities planned for the nursery. If any class would like to do that, let me know, because I know you have Easter coming up.
Right.
You would love the Easter egg
Valentine's Day,
hunt,
right.
Valentine's Day. So there'll be a lot of things, if any class would like to take that as an opportunity, just let us know, and we'll be happy to work with you on that and Jen to get it on the calendar.
Absolutely. All right, so if you have not seen the nursery, if you'd like a tour, we're gonna meet you guys right outside of these doors. We're gonna kind of show you where things are. So you just kind of know, hey, I want to volunteer for Step Up. I know where to go.